Session 2 focuses on reader response. In Santa Fe, New Mexico, Alfredo Lujan students explore the poetry of Keith Gilliard. Gilliard reads his poem, The Hatmaker, and leads the students as they write their own poems in response. In Wolf Point, Montana, Greg Hurst's students engage in Native American storytelling. In response to Mourning Dove's collection of Salish Coyote tales, the students create and present their own stories.
I'm Alfredo Lujan. I teach at Monte del Sol School in Santa Fe. I've taught in northern New Mexico for close to 30 years, and I've taught everything from language arts to PE. This is a 7th, 8th, and 9th grade charter school. Okay, yesterday you got a packet of poems from pomographies. Now we want to do maybe a little activity with the title, because this title is fascinating to me. It's been fascinating from the first time I saw it. I was always drawn to this because being a teacher of English, I thought, well, you know, am I missing something here? Like, is this a new genre? Pomography, okay? I've pronounced it pomography, poemography. So I want you to look at the title and look at the word, okay? And I want you to think about what the title means or what it says, or what do you think about the title?
Alfredo was demonstrating what it means to get a hold of some of this work and then become involved with it. He's saying, okay, this is what this thing means to me. This is what, you know, this is how I responded to it. You know, and to do it without a sense of closure. You know, to say, look, I'm puzzled by some of this. I don't quite know. And I think one of the best things teachers can do is to say they don't have the answers for, you know, for everything. It's hard to talk about response theory and then pretend you have the answers to everything. And so he shares his process with his students, which means they can believe in that as a process.
I think it's pomography, and like it sounds like a poem that has like concrete detail, like a picture. Okay. So so if you like read a poem, it gives you a picture in your head, like pomography. That's what I think it means.
Do you have another word for picture that might fit into the title?
Like a photograph.
So poem plus photography, pomography. That makes sense to me.
It makes me think of a poem and autobiography, as in like it's a self-story. Like he's telling his self-story in a poem. He's taking a picture of himself, but with a poem.
I love that. I mean, self-story. That's really cool. Okay, and then so it's poem plus autobiography, like a self-portrait or a self. That's good thinking. Good job. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yeah.
Well, when I thought of pomographies, I thought of like geography, poem and geography. Maybe he was writing about New York or where he grew up or places he's been. So it just made me think of. Okay, and is there evidence in the text? I mean, you've read the packet, so was there evidence of that in the text? He talked a lot about like New York, and in Spring Ride he talked about riding on the train from one place to another. Good job, good job. Elizabeth?
Biography, maybe? Like a biography of somebody else's life written in poems.
Okay, and is there evidence of that in the text?
The Hatmaker?
Yeah, that's a perfect example because it's about somebody else's life. Even though there's evidence that it's somebody important in the speaker's life. And that's good thinking, guys.
I've had a pretty specific notion when I came up with that title, you know, sort of a story through poetry. And I was trying to go back and retrace and evoke certain incidents from the past. And that was really as far as I had taken it, you know, and when they started talking about, well, you know, we connect this to a notion of geography, you know, so in other words, we're talking about spatial as well as spatial metaphors and that sort of thing. And then they started talking about, you know, autobiography and biography. That was, you know, I pretty much expected that. But then they talked about photography, you know, understanding that the job of the poet, in a sense, is to sort of paint pictures with words. And so, you know, they put that concept in there.
This is unbelievable. All this stuff that you did here, I'm supposed to be the teacher, And you guys are talking about this.
Keith Gilliard's poetry is very accessible and full with many, many images, and there's a lot of use of metaphors and the play on words.
You obviously have some sort of visual representation in your mind about what a poemography is.
In poemography, he shows you all aspects of his world, in his tribute to his mother, in the memory of his friend, and the memory of his teachers, and what it's like to be in another world, Australia and New Zealand, and then have to come back to the realities of urban New York.
We're going to go into a small group activity right now, and this is what I'd like for you to do. I want a group here at this table who's interested in photography. Will that work for you? And at that table, I'd like a group who's interested in geography, okay? And at this table, a group that's interested in biography, okay? Get to your groups, focus on one poem. But then if you find the need, if you exhaust your discussion on that one poem, move on to other poems in your packet and find evidence of your art in those. So maybe one person can interview, or two of you or three of you can interview one person. You decide how to do it when you get into your small groups.
I think we should do How Is Her Name April. What do you think?
Like, through her.
I think so. I think we should also do How Is Her Name April because it's more of a biography, I think.
What was your favorite phrase in How Is Her Name April?
One of the reasons it's good for students to interview each other is because they learn to probe and they learn to pry a little bit and try to get responses from their peers in an intellectual way.
Did you feel any emotions in this poem?
Yeah, when it said, "You just remembered a toddler's blameless smile, a mother's maybe always absent."
One of the most important things for students as readers is to find evidence in the text. So the small group activity is often designed for a closer reading of the text.
To me, that's kind of like, after reading this poem, I kind of got the feeling that there was a mother kind of running from her child. And when she's remembering her toddler's blameless smile, and she's kind of feeling guilty about leaving.
Is there anything that tells you why she might have left?
Well, this line, "a split rope to rumors about her being a rock star ghetto style," is kind of maybe says something about
Like the rumors scared her away and she didn't want to live with the rumors, so
maybe.
she kind of ran.
Yeah, maybe like that.
That's
Rumors
what I
are hard.
Well, in regards, I think that it's about drug dealers, and maybe Keith had an experience with it. And it's visual because right there how it says, "I'm bossed you around on the corner." I can see somebody going around the corner near the library. I see a library. What do you guys think?
When students start to interview each other, it inevitably results in a rich discussion with evidence from the text.
Yeah, like another thing, it's kind of like auditory also, like you can hear it. It's like you stalk large across the stage, but I can like picture someone.
When I hear that phrase, I think of like someone like walking across like a mental stage. Like it's not really like an actual stage, but it's like
Mental picture?
not really like a mental picture, but it's like I don't really know the word for it, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean?
I agree with Talia, but then again, since it's says across the stage past my house, I see somebody first walking across the stage and suddenly they're on someone's house.
It's a philosophical stage.
Does it relate to your lives in any ways?
How I told you, I think it's about a gang. Well, you can just sort of see a gang walking with a knife, because where it says with what it took to own a piece of street, I mean, just it's their turf. Yeah. And when I lived in California, my brother used to be in a gang, so,
I, in a way, can relate to that because one of my friends used to be in a gang, and she wanted me to join it, but I didn't want to.
All right. So now you guys have completed your small group discussion, all right? And I want to go over this assignment, okay? In your discussions, you've discussed the UFFI's, biography, geography, all of that stuff, okay? So go home and create your visual pomography. Think about ways we can make visual representations of that. And bring it back to us tomorrow, and we'll check it all out, and you can talk about it a little bit, and we'll move on from there. Okay, so we'll see you later. Okay. I see a lot of interesting stuff on the tables, and I'm excited to know all about it.
This is my pomography, and I was focusing on the photography aspect of it.
Okay.
And because that's one of my hobbies is black and white photography. And I wrote a poem to go with it, and it's called Redefining the Rainbow. And I guess I'll read it.
I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Color is a beating heart, a passion, a yearning. Color is a feeling, a love, a hate. The tear of a child in lost confusion, a fire of hope in its last fighting moments. Color is a beauty, yet stripped of color, beauty exists. The colors of the rainbow still strive in black and white. When color is not shown, the simplistic beauty of shape illuminates the room with humbleness. A symphony of silence echoes through the mind. A beauty so true it slaps you in the face. Color is only what you make it to be.
Wow. Color is only what you make it to be. Just 1 second. You just did something that was really, really fascinating to me, and I want to jump to it real quick. The spring rate is on 21, and you use the word strive there.
The colors of the rainbow still strive in black and white.
Still strive in black and white. Now think of that juxtaposition. Strive in black and white, strive becoming green, or striving becoming, that's awesome. Was it intentional, just out of curiosity, or?
No, well, I already used the word exist, so I didn't want to use that again. So it might have been like subconscious.
It could be coincidence, it could be subconscious, it could be, but in either way, your intertextual was something that Keith did, right? And that is that you said, he says, landscape becoming green with striving. That's so awesome. That's a great coincidence. This school is very project-oriented. If you were to walk around this school, one of the pillars of the curriculum is art. And in understanding a text, sometimes it's good to give them a project rather than the pop quiz, let's say. After they had discussed the poems, and then the title, in my mind, they were making a link. So instead of giving them a standard assignment like write an essay explaining what you meant, which I do plenty of, by the way, but I thought in this case, what they were saying was very visual, and I thought it would be best represented visually.
Okay, my pomography was an autobiography of my personality along with pictures to go with it. Okay. So it's kind of a mixture.
As students share their own pomographies, they are sharing their stories and their voices with others. They are creating new texts in response to Keith Gilliard's text. And they're also doing it in multiple media: poetry, photography, artwork. Reader Response celebrates a variety of ways in which students make meaning and create meaning with text.
Is there any poem from the collection that you read that sort of moved you in that direction?